there's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually, we're terrified of it.
So there's 2 people or 2 subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it, and big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. About 3 weeks ago or so, I think it was September 14th, I published a video basically where I called the biggest debunker of our time, Mick West, a scared fool. It seems like that is true. He's a scared fool when it comes to the Las Vegas alien case. Because one of my friends of the podcast, Chris Lathrop, reached out to Mick West this past Sunday and requested that he analyze the Vegas alien video. Now, Chris Lathrop is someone who's very interested in the Vegas case. There's a lot of people out there, by the way, who are very interested in this, who have accepted this as proof that there is an alien presence on this planet. Chris is one of them. He actually put together a 95-page report on this. One of these days, he's going to come on the show. We're going to talk about the report that he put together. In fact, the report was included in a new paper that's put together by crime scene reconstruction expert Scott Roeder. And basically, this 95-page report is a lot of different information that covers the entire story with regard to what happened in Vegas during the late hours of April 30th, 2023, and the early morning hours of May 1st, 2023. To the Kenmore family, as we all know, something landed in their backyard. It was not a meteor. There was most certainly some kind of creatures that exited that craft when it hit the ground. I've been talking about this all the time. And, I pointed out in that podcast from a few weeks back that, debunkers like Mick West, they won't touch this. They will not try to, they're just not even, they won't go near it with a 10-foot pole. They're afraid of it. The only people that tried so far were people like Louis Cayetano. And really, this guy's another debunker, but all he did was call me names. He didn't really provide any sort of scientific refutation with regard to this. Nobody will try to do that. Of course, Scott Roeder, the crime scene reconstruction expert, verified that the video was not tampered with. There was no CGI there, and there were creatures in the backyard, just as reported by 3 members of the Kenmore family. And we have it on video. He identified one of them the summer of 2023, the one that chased him out of the yard. And then earlier this year, thanks to a tip from New York resident Julia June, he identified the one that was over the fence, and him and his team determined that it was using some sort of cloaking technology that prevented the camera from filming it. There was only 66% of the pixels in that image were deleted for some reason, and you could see it. I have a little segment that I put together for Mick West and the other debunkers to check out toward later on in this video. But before I get there, I want to talk about what happened with Chris Lathrop today, on Sunday. And basically, Chris had reached out to Mick West, and he asked him, "Hey Mick, I have a legitimate request. Could you please analyze the Las Vegas Kenmore family backyard video?" And West responded, said, "No, it's a waste of time." That was Mick's response. It's a waste of time. It's the best proof we have on record, and Mick West is calling it a waste of time. He'd rather sit back and talk about the gimbal's rotation and tilt and nonsense with Marek von Rennenkampf, like I stated a few weeks back. And then Chris responded saying, "Why do you say that? Aren't you at least curious about it?" And Mick responded, "No, it's obviously ridiculous." And then Chris wrote back to him again and says, "Well, I've researched it extensively and would love to present you my 95-page document on all the interviews Angel and his family did and all the evidence. I'd love to hear your take on it. I can send it to you if you'd like to take a look." And Mick responded one more time. He says, "No, sorry." Now, there's a couple different ways of looking at this. no, it's a waste of time. Okay, why is it a waste of time? Is it a waste of time because you just out of hand don't accept this whatsoever? Or is it a waste of time because there's nothing you can do? You can't disprove it. You know that it's real. No, he thinks that he's just saying this because he won't. He's afraid of it. He can't do it because what's he going to say? Like I sent that a letter to the Pentagon back in early June. Never got a response from it. Never will. I'm thinking about sending a follow up actually to the Pentagon with some more data, some more images. He's afraid. He can't do anything with it. I mean, he just can't. I mean, you have to wonder what do debunkers of the past, what would they think about this? And what was strange about this was that Chris had also reached out last month. He reached out to Doug Papa, the podcaster he's a local Las Vegas podcaster who he was the one who got this story off the ground. He was the one who initially investigated. He got wind of it. He interviewed the family members, particularly Angel, multiple times. And but then at some point after a couple of months or so, a month or so, he said, "Oh, it's a hoax." He came out with a video. He didn't present any evidence to say it was a hoax. My feeling on it was that the reason he was saying that it was a hoax, it was a sour grapes kind of situation. That because the family stopped returning his calls, he just decided to say, "Yeah, it's a hoax." That was my feeling on it. Sour grapes, like out of Aesop's fables. Now, other people think it's maybe somebody got to Doug Papa. I don't know, like the MIB or something. I have no idea. Government agents, hey, told him to shut up or whatever. I have no idea. I have my, we just don't know. But what was interesting now, Chris had reached out to him on September 28th, and for some reason he got back to him today on the same day that Mick West was sending him some messages. This was on Twitter X, by the way. And he asked Doug Papa, he says, "Doug, I'm following up. If you'd be able to give any type of information on the case, please let me know. Thank you." And Doug Papa responded saying, "What case are you referring to?" And Chris responded saying, "The Kenmore family UFO encounter. I know you interviewed Angel multiple times. I'd greatly appreciate it, Doug." And Doug's response was, "I published several podcast episodes on that subject. I have nothing else to contribute. Thanks for your interest." Yeah, now, I actually had contacted Doug Papa July of 2023. I contacted him on July 10th, I asked him this question. I said, "You stated in your analysis that you couldn't find any creature in the video filmed by the family. I had crime scene reconstruction expert Scott Roeder on my podcast recently, and he was able to identify something moving toward the family in that footage. It corroborates what Angel had reported. I have the video queued up so you can get directly to the analysis." And so this, what I was talking about there, this was soon after, was June of 2023 when Scott Roeder initially identified that creature that was moving toward the father, Bobby, and the two sons, Angel and Joshua. That was his first discovery, and then it wasn't until late March when he verified what Julia June had pointed out about the creature over the fence. Now, other people had been seeing this before. I hadn't noticed it before, and then Scott Roeder verified it after Julia June pointed it out for us. But anyway, this was from last year, 2023, and he ended up responding a few days later. And he wrote, "It was a hoax. No non-human creatures in the yard. Nothing landed." Now, that's unbelievable that he would say something like that. I mean, I don't know. And now this was right after, this was only that initial thing, that the initial analysis from Roeder. So we didn't have the rest of the stuff. Like Roeder back in April verified the fact that there was the creature that chased him out of the yard, as well as the creature that showed its head up over the fence. But since then, we've found other things. As I've been pointing out for the last few months here, I keep finding more and more things. And other people are sending me stuff, too, that I'm still looking into, some other discoveries, and I'm still trying to verify those. But I've been talking about multiple different things recently. But most importantly, to me, right, was the little gray alien that we see in the video that I've been talking about a lot. Now, Doug Papa, for some reason, is not interested in this case anymore. And of course, the family has moved away from the residence, so we don't have them. They're not there anymore. After, of course, as we all know, there was poltergeist activity that they experienced after this incident happened in the months afterward, and they eventually apparently moved. But what I find interesting is the fact that Mick West, he has now responded. He says he will not look at this. It's a waste of time. Well, how come it wasn't a waste of time when Inside Edition contacted you and then you just said, oh, yeah, it's raccoons and coyotes. That's what it could have been that scared him out of the yard. Actually, now we have proof that shows that there was no way that it was raccoons or coyotes. We have proof that shows that there were some kind of non-human intelligent creatures running around back there. Lots of proof, more than even what we were initially talking about back in April when we did the Vindication Day podcast with Scott Roeder. We've been talking a lot about the undeniable backbreaker, and he doesn't want to look at that. These people are scared or something. Something's going on. Either they're part of the cover-up. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened to Doug Papa. Mick West, obviously, these aren't. He's not like the debunkers of old. They would have tried to tackle this and come up with some sort of a bogus explanation. He can't even go near it because he knows what's he going to do? What's he going to say? How's he going to debunk it? Where's he going to start? This isn't the gimbal thing where he could try to get away with certain nonsense answers. This isn't that at all. How's he going to do it? This is the meat on the bone here we're seeing here. This is the real deal. The occupants, the ones who are piloting these craft. You can't deny it. We're beyond the point of no return when it comes to this. Of course, we don't have the verification from the federal government at this point, but we do have the evidence ourselves. I mean, this has been a grassroots effort all around, and we do have the proof now that shows that there were no question about it, alien creatures in the backyard of the Kenmore family during the early morning hours of late hours of April 30th and early morning hours of May 1st, 2023. No question about it. But anyway, just like in the previous podcast where I put together a little video segment for Mick West to ponder, I've put another one together, and I'm going to play it here. So if he watches this, and you know that he's going to, you know that he will. And I call him a chicken. You're a chicken this time, Mick. You're a chicken. You're a chicken. You don't have anything. You don't got anything to offer this because you know why? You know why you won't do it? Because you know there's nothing you can't debunk it. It's real and you know it, and you're not going to say anything about it, right? Because you know if you do, it's almost like you would be disclosing it. It's already disclosed. It's too late. It's over. It's been over for months now, ever since we had the initial analysis, and you just don't want to fess up to it. Instead, you want to go on X and just keep pumping out your bogus BS. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. We all see right through it for why you're doing it, or if you're doing it because you're just scared, or you're a chicken. You don't want to face up to this. You don't like the idea that you've been proven wrong all these years, right? You can't do it. You won't do it. You won't do it. Or maybe it is like some people suspect, that you're part of the cover-up. Maybe that's what's going on. Well, I guess maybe in the future we'll find out, or maybe we'll never know. But doesn't really matter, because the history books are going to call you a chicken as time goes on. In the future, right? You're going to be looked upon as Simon Newcomb, that astronomer that said that nobody could ever fly a plane, and then nobody's ever going to be able to. There'll be no way that a human being will ever accomplish flight. And then a couple months later, a few weeks later, actually, I think it was, the Wright brothers had their big day. So you're gonna go down in history as the same thing. You're gonna disingenuous, and all your debunker buddies too. They're all a bunch of clowns. I see Stephen Greenstreet pumping out garbage still to this day, even though we have the evidence has been out there floating around for months now. And you guys have to be aware of it. If you're not, you really dropped the ball on this one. You really dropped the ball. Because it's over. It's been over. But anyway, here, check out this nice short little video I put together for you. Maybe this will help you out. You know, Mick and all the other debunkers out there, we could sit here and I could talk about the creature that chased them out of the yard. I mean, I've talked about that a lot on this show over the last several months, or it's actually since last year. Last summer, since Scott Roeder, the crime scene reconstruction expert, had identified it. I could sit here and talk about that. I could talk about the creature that appears above the fence, whose head you see hovering over the fence, and you can see a shadow in between the slots of the boards, of the fence boards. You can see it. We talked about that. There's no question about it, and we all know what Scott Roeder said about that. Here's a little clip from what he said about that.
To me, I applied the same principles that I would apply to any kind of a homicide investigation, right?
Yes.
And you have to look at the totality of the evidence. And you're going to have debunkers that'll be like, well, but the shadow, it could be this, that, or the other. No, it cannot. And I want to open this up. Everything that we've done, I'm opening it up for peer review. Okay. Anybody out there with a degree in photography, anybody out there who's a qualified expert witness in video analysis like I am, anybody out there with a master's degree or higher in education in video analysis, video editing, photography, film development, computer animation, and so on and so forth, bring it on. Look at what I've put on my YouTube channel. Look at what Jim and I are going to talk about today. And I'm willing to hear what professionals in my field have to say about this and open it up. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. But I think that the evidence at this particular time with what we've seen here is proof. Couple things that these entities, both in the background and in the foreground behind the fence, are real. They're there. This is not fake. This is not a fraud. I guarantee it. 100%. These two items, these two beings are in the real world environment with the Kenmore family. That's a fact. It's an absolute fact. That is there, and the one in the background is there. 100%, beyond any reasonable doubt, these beings are there. Now, the question is, who are they? Where are they from, and what do they want? That's where the conversation goes after this presentation, Jim. The reality is confirmed. They're there. These people have experienced an extraterrestrial reality, interdimensional, whatever, whatever term you want to put on it. But these are non-human intelligent beings that are there in the real world. It's there. This is proof.
And we could also talk about all the other anomalies we see in this yard, including the creature that's standing by the front loader that looks very, very similar to one of the creatures that had abducted the Allagash 4 back in 1976 in the Maine wilderness. We could talk about that. I mean, you could see it there. And obviously, it looks just like that drawing by one of the Wiener brothers who experienced this. We could talk about that, but you know what? Let's talk about UB. UB is, that's just short for undeniable backbreaker. Let's talk about him. I mean, here we go. I mean, I've been trying to tell people there's no denying it. This is a gray alien. I mean, when you look at UB and you think about the descriptions of gray aliens over the years, this is what it looks like. You know what? The Kenmore family, they didn't even see this thing. Apparently, they only saw the big ones. They only saw the two big ones. But obviously, you see right there. Look at that thing. Look at that. See that? Look at it staring right at you, Mick. It's staring right at you and all the debunkers out there. He's looking at you, Stephen Greenstreet, Brian Dunning, Michael Shermer, all you guys. And you're not going to try to debunk this? I mean, look at that. It's a gray alien. Don't you have some sort of canned answer for this? I mean, come on, what are you doing? Come on, what? Just think about it. I mean, what would Philip Klass or Donald Menzel think? They're turning over in their graves right now. They would respond. Philip Klass, they'd have an answer. Why don't you? Why don't you have an answer? What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? I mean, Scott Roeder, he only has over 30 years experience as a crime scene reconstruction expert, testifying in court and all that stuff. He's a video analysis expert. Aren't you some kind of an expert, a retired video game programmer? Can't you figure out what this is? Maybe, what is it? Maybe it's maybe what that meteor wasn't a meteor. Maybe it wasn't a spaceship. Maybe you could come up with a new theory. Maybe what it is. Maybe it was some sort of traveling puppeteer troupe. They got shot out of a cannon from a nearby circus, and they landed in the Kenmore's backyard. And after they landed there, they decided to put on a puppet show. Maybe that's what this is. And plus, they had magic too. They had a real magician there that could make it disappear. Like look at that. See how it disappears? See that? Look at that. Look at that. How about it? Or maybe are you having trouble seeing it? Let's look at this. I have it masked off here just so you see that. Look at it. We have it masked off here for you. Look, you can see it coming into view there. It's all blurry and everything. They're using cloaking technology, these creatures. Unless you have some other reason, unless you have some other excuse, some other explanation. There it is. See it? Do you see it now? Just like all the other grays people have described. That's what it is, because that's what it is. And here, watch it disappear. Again, maybe it's a traveling puppeteer troupe's puppet. Hey, you want to see? Let's look at just a still picture of it. See the still picture? If it's not good enough yet, how about this? We'll magnify it. There, see? Is it better now for you? Could you see it yet? You know, what's your explanation, Mick? Come on. Is it ridiculous? Right? What is it? Come on. It's too ridiculous to look at to provide an explanation for what? How do you explain this? This, you know, on the left here is a AI representation of what you see from the real video on the right. So the AI actually recognized that there was something there. Watch. Look at it. It saw the alien face too. It saw it. I mean, but you're saying it's not real, that it's ridiculous. Is it? Is it ridiculous? Is it a waste of time? What's the waste of time? Maybe it's a waste of time because you know the answer already. Look at that. Look at actually even look at when it turned its head, the eye on the AI version, this AI anime version, it became more detailed. You notice that? What's the explanation, Mick? What's the explanation? We all want to hear it. We all want you to hear you refute what Scott Roeder has stated as fact. Here, in case you don't want to, this is a far away shot. It's still zoomed in a little bit when it first shows up, but watch this. See, I want to point this. I have it on a loop here so you can see. You can see, wait, right there. Look, I have the arrow pointing right down at it. You see it? Camera saw it. It was there. What is it, Mick? A traveling puppeteer puppet, maybe? Is that what you want to say? Come on, why do you say something? What do you think Menzel and Class would say? What do they think? They're turning over in their graves right now. They can't believe that you won't take this on. Look at this thing. It's real, Mick. It's real. There was something there. Look at that. See it? You see it? Yeah. So come on, Mick. We all want to know. Everyone wants to hear what you have to say. We want your analysis, Mick. Come on. Tell us what you think it is. Come on, Mick. Come on, Mick. What are you going to say? Come on. What is it? Tell us what it is. We all want to hear it. Come on. Give us, maybe you want to give us an impression, your best impression of Louis Cayetano. Come on. Come on. What do you got? Come on. What do you have? Come on. Come on. Scott Roeder's saying there were actual aliens in that backyard. You're saying it's all ridiculous. Is it? Is it ridiculous? Is it a waste of time to look at this? Why is it a waste of time? What are you talking about? What's going on? We all want to know, Mick. We all want to know. All right. I hope that helps, just like the other one I put together for you. And everyone knows, everyone who's going to see this, right, is going to know that you're a disingenuous clown. That's what you are, disingenuous chicken. Along with all your other debunker buddies who can't admit that they were wrong all this time, because you were wrong, and we have the evidence now. And everybody out there sees it. Everybody out there knows it. The only people who don't see it are the dunces that are a part of the cult that you guys created. Anyway, I want to say thank you all for joining me. Until next time.